Good morning, dear children. Welcome all of you to today's statistics class. And I hope all are safe and sound in health. So, children, today we'll discuss the chapter Measures of Dispersion. So, children, we have studied in our previous chapters the various measures of averages. And those measures actually sum up the data into a single representative value. But that value we cannot use to measure the variability in the data. So these measures of dispersion helps us to measure the variations in the data. And you are more familiar about different macro as well as the microeconomic variables. Which are they? Yes, different microeconomic variables. That is price, demand, supply, as well as different macroeconomic variables are there. Income, expenditure, isn't it? Yes. So here, this measures of dispersion helps us to measure the variations in such data. So dispersion. The dispersion means it refers to the variations of the items amongst themselves around an average. So how much variations among the different items of a series, the more will be the dispersion. So here, after the calculations, if much variations are there, we have to conclude that the more will be the dispersion among the variables. Then, what are the objectives of measuring dispersion? First of all, to determine the reliability of an average. The next one is to compare the variability of two or more series. Then, for facilitating the use of other statistical measures. And the basis of statistical quality control. So these are the various objectives of measuring dispersion. So first of all, we have to determine the reliability of an average. Then we have to compare if two or more series are given, we have to measure the variability of that series. Then different statistical measures are there. So these measures actually helps to facilitate to use such statistical measures. Then it serves as the basis of the statistical quality control. So these are the various objectives of measuring dispersion. Then we know that various measures are there. And what are the properties of a good measure of a dispersion? As if we have studied in our measures of averages, the various properties of mean, median as well as the mode. So here also the various properties are there. What are the different properties of a good measure of dispersion? Yes, first of all, should be easy to understand. Second one is, it should be simple to calculate. Third one is, uniquely defined. Next is, it should be based on all observations. That means we know that Yes, we cannot take the individual items. If we want to measure the variations of all the items, we have to take into consideration of all the observations given in the data. They're not affected by the extreme observations, because we know that as we are taking into consideration of all the items in the data, it won't be affected much by the extreme observations. Then capable of further algebraic treatment. That means we know that the various measures are there and it should be used for the further statistical analysis. These different measures will be helpful for our further analysis. So all such properties are the good measure of a dispersion. So these are the various properties of a good measure of dispersion. So in my next module, I will discuss what are the different measures of dispersion. So thank you children for watching this video.